Thank you all for being with us today. I know we've had some rough weather through the areas, so we're glad that you're here. We're going to go ahead and get started.
Thank you, Carol, and good afternoon, everyone. As Carol stated, and welcome to EdTech Tuesdays. This is the first one of 2024, and we're going to dive into digital portfolios. Carol, I'm going to keep sharing for a second.
Okay.
As I stated, this is digital portfolios, and we have a few upcoming ones as well for the remaining of this 2024 on this side of the semester, which is 3D Design and Tinkercad. You're going to revolutionize your library. Ed Puzzle 101 and Tech It Easy, declutter and de-stress your tech life. So after giving you all of this tech, and give you a chance to de-stress a little bit from the tech. And one of the things I would like to mention to you all is that we have a series called Tim Talks, and that's to let you know about the different initiatives across the state. It is a podcast hosted by ATMS specialists. So if you get an opportunity, you can listen to it on Apple, Spotify, or Google. The last one that we had was with Montgomery Public Schools of Delrata, where we talked to the principal and the STEM facilitator. So if you haven't had an opportunity, please check that out. Meeting norms for the day. We're all learners. While we may have a different level of understanding of the topics, we're all able to learn from one another. We want you all to be fully present. Our schedules are always busy, but it's important to take the time to participate in professional learning. So thank you all for being here today. We all work together. We collaborate to maximize our impact on student achievement and success. Every child, every chance, every day, negotiable. My name is Pernell Allen. I'm the Alabama Technology and Motion Specialist located at the University of Alabama at Birmingham, UAB. Go Blazers. That's my contact information if you'd like to reach out to me, which is in Region 5. And those other universities you see over there to the left are where other ATM specialists and the regional in-service centers are located across the state. Region 5 serves the following LEAs, and you all see them there. However, I'm here with my mentor and our host for today, Carol Foster, who's at Auburn University, which is Region 9, and that's Carol contact information. And this is Region 9, which are the LEAs which she serves in Region 9. At this time, I will stop sharing, give Carol an opportunity to formally introduce herself and start our presentation. Carol.
All right. Thank you, Pernell.
You're welcome.
Let me share a different screen because that one is too small. All right. Welcome again. Thank you all so much for coming. We've got an action-packed hour today. I do want to go ahead and share my presentation with you, as it will have tons of resources on it, and it will also serve as a document for you to go back and revisit anything that we discussed today. I do have let me put that in the chat. I do have a link, is what I'm trying to say. And I'll grab that just in case we have other people that are joining us. All right, so you should find the link to the presentation in the slide. So if anyone is having trouble with that, you can put that in the chat so I'll know. Or if you got it and can open it, fine, let me know in the chat so I can make sure that it is accurate. Again, it did, Pernell?
Yes, it's working. It's working.
Okay, perfect. I am Carol Foster. I'm with Auburn University's Technology in Motion. Please contact me if you have any questions about what we're going to dive into today, and that is going to be digital portfolios and how you can use digital portfolios, why you would use digital portfolios. And then we're going to look at some examples, some real life examples. We are also going to talk about like what you can put in a digital portfolio. So I'm trying to squeeze everything that I can think of into this 1 hour, but we could actually talk about digital portfolios forever. So hopefully you'll get something new out of today or a new way to use a tool in today's session. But first, I want you to think about your day today, maybe even your week, and how you're feeling about this week. So, we're going to listen to some tunes, and then I want you to put in the chat if you're one, two, three, or five. Okay, that's one. This is two.
What doesn't kill you makes you strong. It's me. It's me. Time. Grace. Must be exhausting, always waiting for the end to keep you grounded.
All right. So let's see what kind of day that we've had today. Combination of one and two. Yep. Lots of threes. I'm right there with you. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Awesome. It's always fun to incorporate a little bit of music into the beginning of any lesson. It gets the kids hooked. We always love to do some sort of activity at the beginning. I believe in community building, and this is a great way to do that. And we all know that anytime that we can listen to music or move in the classroom, that it really gets our brain stimulated. The next thing I want you to do is in the chat, if you would create a hashtag that describes your week so far. And these are mine. It's only Tuesday. Hashtag pass the pastry. Hashtag need coffee. Hashtag I wish candy grew on trees. Because I really want some candy right now and I'm really trying to avoid it. So if you have a hashtag that resonates with you, please put that in the chat. Charlotte. Oh, good. Waiting for snow. Yeah, we might get some snow next week. I hear it's going to be rather chilly. All right. Thank y'all so much. So
Karen,
yes.
did you see the hashtag I need an AP?
Really? Oh, a nap. I need a nap. Yeah, I need one of those too. All right. Thank y'all. All right. Let's get to the task of why we're here today. We're going to take a look at digital portfolios. We're going to talk a little bit about the benefits and how you can get started, the types of digital portfolios that there are, choosing a platform, the kinds of artifacts that you can put into a portfolio, and tools that will help you build the portfolio. And then I'm going to give you some resources and some examples that you can look at to maybe dive deeper into that process of creating digital portfolios. So what is a digital student portfolio? It's a portfolio is a purposeful collection of work samples from each of the learning areas that stretch over a designated time period. It can contain work samples from each learning area, assessment, task, photos, student reflections, your learning goals, and much more. And we're going to talk specifically about some of the things that you can add to a portfolio. So to get us started, we're going to watch this really short video of five of the best things that you can get out of student portfolios.
When we think of assessment, it's easy to imagine a test or a rubric attached to a score and a letter grade. However, in many industries, from art to engineering to marketing to programming, people demonstrate their proficiency with portfolios. Similarly, students can craft portfolios to showcase their work, reflect on their learning, and set goals for the future. So here are 5 ways to get the most out of student portfolios. Number 1, let students choose the platform. Some might prefer a blog, others might prefer a website, a podcast, or a series of videos. Number 2, encourage students to own the organizational structure. They might organize things topically or chronologically or both. Number 3, have students reflect on the learning process and the final products. Number 4, have students choose a variety of work, including their best work, their favorite work, and the work that demonstrated the most growth. And number 5, don't wait until the end of the year to start the portfolio process. Integrate the portfolio project into your unit plans. Take time out on certain days to have students select the work and create their reflections. When portfolios are an everyday part of the learning process, students can showcase their best work, reflect on their growth, and set new goals for learning targets. Here, students improve their metacognition as they determine where they are in their mastery and what steps they need to take in the future. Ultimately, this leads to deeper thinking and better learning. Hey, thank you for
Okay,
watching.
so let me try to get the slides to progress. There we go. So when we start thinking about getting started with digital portfolios, one thing that they say that you should do is allow the students to choose what platform that they want to use. I know that there are some teachers that don't even really know that they're creating a digital platform when they use websites like Seesaw. And even Schoology. Did you know that Schoology has its own portfolio inside of it? And we'll talk about that in a bit. But especially for our elementary students, if teachers are using Seesaw, they have a collection of their work already in there. So letting the students decide on the platform, especially if they are in the middle schools or high schools, is very important because they may want it to be more like a blog. They may choose that they want to create a website. And Google Sites has come such a long way since I remember when it first launched, and it is so easy to use. And I'm going to show you a couple of other resources and platforms that you wouldn't think about using portfolios for, but that are really great resources. Setting clear expectations and guidelines for the student is also very important so they know what is supposed to be in the portfolio and how the portfolio will be evaluated. Um, there are some schools that use portfolios as learning tools throughout their entire high school career. There are some schools that do just their senior years. They collect portfolio information and data for collection. I know when I was in graduate school, every class that I took had to be a part of a learning portfolio. And what was so great about that was that I had the opportunity to not only reflect on my work, but I was also able to go back and revisit some of those classes, especially when maybe something in my everyday job came up. I'm like, oh, you know what? I did something like that in my graduate course. So let me go back and check my portfolio, especially for students. Collecting that work can be amazing for interviews if they start the workforce or if they are going to apply to different colleges. Having that digital collection is a nice touch. It is also a great way that the teacher can provide feedback and the student can provide feedback of things that they have learned. The reflection piece probably is what we as teachers give the least amount of time to, but is probably the most important thing that we can do is allow our students time to reflect. Because, I like to say there is no learning without reflection. If we try something new and we fail, that's just one step closer to me. That's the way I look at it. It's one step closer to success. So that reflection on our learning is very important. So having a portfolio would actually take care of that and give you a time to reflect and even maybe later you might take another course or you do another project and you see how your other project may be improved. So that reflection piece is a big part of digital portfolios. All right, so what are the benefits of digital portfolios? So again, creating a portfolio is a great way for students to showcase their work and document their progress and their achievements in school. And I love this quote by Dr. Helen Barrett. It says, testing gives you a snapshot, but portfolios give you a movie. So here are some benefits of digital portfolios for students. It can capture the whole student in a way that standardized tests, of course, don't. They tell us to differentiate instruction and then take a standardized test, which is lovely. It helps student build their digital footprint and it helps them learn about the do's and don'ts of what they should and should not provide out there on the internet, because we know that anything that you do on the internet is permanent. Even if you immediate delete something, you know that there is someone that has taken, a recording or a screen capture of that. So this really helps with digital citizenship as well. It helps with those essential skills. Essential skills are sometimes also called people skills. And these are the things that we want out of our students when they leave school and enter the working world. We want them to be able to think critically, collaborate, communicate, be creative, and be able to solve problems. It gives them motivation for learning and it may increase students' independence, and especially when they're given a choice with their portfolios. Anytime a student's given some sort of choice, and it would be a little choice or a huge choice, they have a little bit more ownership in that. So definitely creating portfolios would give students that ownership that we're looking for them to have when they are presenting their work to us. It also helps with different kinds of learning styles. And even though there's a study going on right now that learning styles don't matter, but I disagree wholeheartedly that learning styles do matter and people learn differently. I know that I am a learner by doing. I can hear it, I can see it, but until I actually do it, I can't, I don't learn well without doing it. Even when I was in high school, I rewrote notes and I put notes on flashcards, and that is because I was a kinesthetic learner. I had to learn by doing. So even though some people say that's a bunch of hooey, I don't agree. And then students can also keep track of their progress and their successes in an organized way. And not only that, but they've got a bigger audience now. So they can share this information with anyone willing to see it on the internet. So, and it can be retrieved quickly. So you don't have to. I remember back in the late 1900s, when I first got my first teaching job, one of the things somebody said is, "Oh, you know what you really need to take to your interviews is a portfolio." So in that portfolio, I would have pictures of bulletin boards, sample lesson plans, um, feedback from supervising teachers or observations, all kinds of things that they could see that, experiences that I have had. So now having a digital portfolio is so much better. All right, so types of portfolios, and I'll tell you the one that I like the best as well. So there are showcase portfolios, which means that you are collecting the best work. You're collecting presentations, you're collecting maybe writing samples or art, all kinds of things. And you can reflect on it as you go. And it also involves student choice. But basically, the showcase is to wow others. Like, these are all the things that I've done. The process, which is a portfolio that is a work in progress, also called learning, development, reflection, or formative portfolios. So working on it as you go and adding to it as you go through the process, with the ultimate goal in this one being the reflection of the process. And then there are assessment portfolios that is a little more formal and a little less student centered than a showcase or a process portfolio. And then there is the hybrid, which it is a combination of all three of those. And it is also one where you would have artifacts throughout the portfolio, as well as reflection pieces with the portfolio. I tend to like the hybrid idea where you're doing a little bit of all of it. And again, these are just a little more of an elaboration on the kinds. So the showcase is really about your best work. The process or the learning portfolio is a work in progress. The assessment portfolio is used mainly for accountability. And then the hybrid approach, which is kind of all three of those put together. So those pages there are for you to go back and get a deeper definition of those learning portfolios. So when we think about portfolios, and I'm going to show you some examples at the end, but inside of a portfolio, even if you're doing a classroom website, it's all about the tabs, right? So it's all about what you can find. So the ultimate goal of a portfolio is communication, right? So we want to make sure that those tabs, which are your pages of the portfolio, are not overwhelming, but that they are very specific, and that we could add more things to it without having a whole tab. Like, for instance, you could have, a tab specifically about this one art project you did, or an electricity unit that you covered, and these are all the things maybe that you made, or videos. So you could have all kinds of stuff, but I like to categorize them where I could put many different artifacts under one tab. So I think that less is more, maybe. So I would probably have an about me profile or a learner profile. Those could be one and the same. Definitely have a work of fame or a wow work or a wow page for the student, the work that the student is proud of. Definitely, you could have a reflection page, but you could also have a reflection under each artifact that you add to a portfolio. And I am um, actually thinking back to the portfolio that I did in graduate school and how that reflection piece was really important to me, just because it allowed me to be able to see, like, wow, these are all of the things that I learned in this course. You could have a passion project tab, and then you could also have your specific class tabs, or you could have those wow work tabs and have it divided within the page. And then definitely you want to have photos, and especially for those graduating seniors, you might want to have a resume. And then once you have a resume, it's important to update that resume every single year. I know just for when we get our contracts through the State Department of Education that goes through Auburn University, every time I have to send an updated resume. So once you create a resume, it's there, it's yours forever. So take care of it. So a resume would be a great thing to have, especially for those seniors. But like I said, less is more. Don't make it too overwhelming. All right, now choosing a digital portfolio platform. And this is probably the fun part. And this is also where it's very important for you to allow your student to choose. Now, there may be some cases where you want everyone to have the same kind. And if you did, one thing that you could use would be, or you want it based on your platform, your LMS that you're using in school. And this is Schoology, so you probably, if you use Schoology, this looks familiar to you. But I want to show you how you can get to the platform of creating portfolios right inside of Schoology. So if you go over here to your username and just click on your profile, over here underneath where your picture would be, one of the tabs is portfolio. If that tab is grayed out or you don't see that tab, then that may mean that your district has disabled it. So you might want to check with them, but you should see that portfolio tab right there. And this one is so super easy to use. When you want to create a new portfolio, you would just click the checkbox and you can add different um, titles, and then here are your different items. And you could actually pull assignment submissions from Schoology. You can also upload files, upload pages, upload any link or URL. So this would be an amazing place to do portfolios, especially if you are a school that is exclusively using Schoology. I think it would be perfect. And it does look really nice. And I've played around with them, but you see you can add different portfolio pages throughout this. And it's also easy for you to share with others. So that is the Schoology portfolio portion. I don't have time to go over all of them, but I do want to talk about how you could use Google Sites. You could use Google, any Google product. You could use Google Docs. You could use Google Drawings. You could use Google Slides. Um, and there was one more that I was thinking that you could use with Google. Oh, Slides Mania is an additional website. It's a standalone website that has tons of templates. And some of the templates that they have on there are portfolio templates. So that is a good place to go. Some students might want to use a blog like post. EduBlog would be a good place. Of course, everybody loves Canva. Not only Canva has everything. I'm just going to say it. They have everything. You can do everything in Canva. And they're slowly but surely kind of leaning towards going to an LMS. It's very educator friendly. You know that you can get a free premium account if you are an educator. You just have to go through the education tab and provide proof under teachers in schools that you are an educator. So if you do not have an educator tab, you need to do that. But they already have portfolio templates. So you could easily create an ongoing portfolio right here inside of Canva. And Canva is my BFF. I use Canva every day, absolutely every day. Google Slides, Wakelet, and Bulb. These are the ones that I want to talk more about. Book Creator could also be a pretty good place to do a portfolio. I probably would use something other than Book Creator, but it absolutely could be used as a portfolio. This one is brand new to me. Actually, I just saw it yesterday and it's called Bulb. And I called myself linking it, and did I? We don't know. Probably not. I swear I linked it, but we're going to go to it anyway. And I will make sure that I link it later so you have access to it. Yes, that's what I meant. Okay, so it says this is a digital portfolio for everyone. And you do have to go through the process of signing up. And I just signed up with Google because if I know my Google, I can get into it. And this is what it looks like. It does have a freemium and a premium web version, but it is super cheap. And it looks like it would be a really great resource. And it's made especially exclusively, I think, for portfolios. So it's a place where you can add portfolios and resumes. But it looks like on the freemium version, you just get this one dashboard. But with the other versions, you can have multiple portfolios going on. But you can see right here, you just go to create. You can create a collection or a page. I'm not sure that I know the difference right now. I guess a collection would be more like Wakelet, lots of curated resources. But I just did this one. Actually, I think that one was done for me as a demo. But you can go through and you can see that it is super easy to use, but I love the way it looks. Brand new to me. I thought it was amazing. So I definitely wanted to share Bulb with you. But one of my absolute favorite ones is probably Wakelet. Wakelet also has tons of templates. And if you don't know about Wakelet, Wakelet is just a space for you to curate resources. I use Wakelet all the time, especially for adding resources like For You, giving you access to this collection. So this collection is lots of pages, lots of websites and templates and other resources on one single page. So that page is called a collection. And you will have access to this later. But anytime that I find anything new or anything just delicious about portfolios, I will add them to this collection for you. But let's look at Wakelet for a portfolio. And I started creating one. And what I did was I kind of app smashed Canva and Wakelet to make it look a little more compelling. So, with Wakelet, you can dress it up a little bit with backgrounds and images and that kind of thing. But I used Canva to create these images that look like headers. And what did I use? I used Canva Google headers to make these. So I did an about me section and a wow work section, example portfolios section, just to show you how you can make it look more like a portfolio than just a collection like that I showed you previously. But what I wanted to show you though is how it looks if you export this as a PDF. And it does say it takes about 60 seconds to download it. Oh, where is my little? So I want to show you what it looks like from the downloaded PDF page. So if a student did want to print it, they could, or if they wanted to download the PDF to send to someone, they could do that because all of the links that they have embedded still work. Even though it is in PDF format, it will still take them to the links, which I think it looks really good that way too. So if you didn't want to share the entire Wakelet, or maybe you're having trouble, or maybe the Wakelet is blocked at their school for whatever reason, you could always send a PDF. You could also use Wakelet to collect and then add the exported PDF to, maybe you're using Google Sites to do your portfolio. So you could use it that way as well. So those are the platforms that I think probably would be the best to use. I would definitely probably use Canva, Wakelet, or Schoology. When I did my portfolio, I used Weebly, but that is before Google Sites has gotten so good. Now Google Sites is my go-to if I'm creating a website, just because it's gotten so much better than it used to be. But now that I know about Bulb, I definitely would probably give that a run as well. These are also other templates that you could use, and these are they look more like notebooks. So even if you didn't want to use this as a portfolio, but rather to create a digital notebook or an interactive notebook for your students, these are also linked, and it will take you out to those templates. And I'm not going to spend too much time there. So what kinds of artifacts should you post in your portfolio? Again, your best work, your most challenging work, work you're proud of or wow work, any assessments, goals that you have, or reflection of what you've learned. So other ideas of things to include are graphs that you've created, notes that have been taken, labs, videos, pictures, again, reflections, different projects, and you may have documentation of the steps of that project and have different pictures or different phases of the editing process that you made throughout that project. Infographics, different puzzles, games, quizzes. You could app smash. One of my favorite apps to use for reflection is Flip, which formerly known as Flipgrid. But Microsoft Flip is an amazing resource. And if you're using Wakelet, it's built right in. So the teacher wouldn't have to go to Flip. All the student would need to do is sign in to their Wakelet account, and they could automatically use Flip Shorts right there inside of Wakelet. And so just to show you real quick. If you are in Wakelet, I don't know why this keeps opening. We'll just go with it. I don't know. I guess I logged in. Okay, sorry about that. So if I'm inside of Wakelet, if you just hover between your, yes.
We only see your screen from the slideshow, but it looks minimized.
Oh, well, that must be why it's doing what it's doing on my end then.
Yeah,
Yep.
we don't see what you're showing.
Okay, thank you. Wakelet, where are you at? Okay, here we go. So when you're hovering between your artifacts or your collections in Wakelet, if you see this plus sign right here, over this button that looks like apps, if you click that, it shows you all of the integrations that they have connections with. Google Drive is one, so it's real easy for students to use anything that they have in their drive. And Flip. So it will automatically open a Flip video for them without the teacher actually going and creating a Flip lesson. So that's great. And they're able to do a video, maybe even a reflection video right there. All right.
I had a
And
question in the chat too, Carol.
okay, I'm not looking at the chat.
No,
because
it just popped up.
okay.
So
Do you give the students the same? I would probably, yeah, you would set the guidelines of what you wanted in the portfolio, but then let them choose what to put in it and let them choose the platform. But I think, personally, I think my list would be the same, what they need to put in it. Or even give them out of these, choose 5 to begin with. But next, we're going to talk about rubrics. And I have about a few more minutes. All right, and here are other tools. We just talked about Flip, how you can use Flip to create reflections with videos. Here are some other tools that you could use. Again, always have to mention Canva. Adobe Express is also another one that you could use. Adding things like funny pictures like Giphies would be also a good addition to a portfolio. Poplet is going to probably be more for your younger students, and it makes mind maps or organizers, and those would look really good, and they also export nicely as a PDF. Toonie Tool is a video creator, and then Pic Collage is a way that you could collect different pictures and put them in one frame. So it would look nice on a website portfolio. Also, I added Auto Draw because it uses AI to create actually guesses what you're generating when you're drawing it, and it's a great place to get icons. So students could actually make their own icons with AutoDraw. And we don't have too much time to spend on the tools. But these are also some of my favorites. Blabberize will take any image. It could be a photo from Google. It can be a photo from your phone. It can be a photo that you drew and you just draw a line on it. It's kind of like Chatterpix, if you've ever heard of that. And it will make that picture talk. There are also other platforms with AI that will make images kind of come to life. So Blabberize would be good. Maybe the image walks them through the process of how they did something. Loom is another video platform. I really like Loom because it's easy to collect your videos and they land in your Google Drive, which I really like. So they're easy to share. Scribe is a website that will do screen captures of steps in a process. So if I wanted to show you how to log into Wakelet, everywhere I clicked, it would capture an image and write up a nice little review of that process. Perfect to send to people that forget how to do things like how to connect your Schoology accounts or how to create a distribution list in Outlook. Vocaroo is also amazing. It is an oldie, but a good. I've known about this website forever, but it's so simple, but it is so powerful. You can just click this button and you see that it has started recording my voice, and then I can stop it, and then I can save it. And if this is what I like, I can just grab a copy of that. I can create a QR code. So I could have this QR code on my portfolio and it say, hey, scan this QR code to hear me discuss more about my project. Or you could add a link. You can also embed it if you had a website, but it's that easy to grab that link, copy it, and paste it, and it will automatically play that video recording. And it takes you right back to that website. Click this button and you see that. So that would be amazing even for if you're absent as a teacher and you wanted to put your voice on directions for the day, because it gives you a URL. It's probably one of my most favorite websites ever. And you can even share it to people on Facebook because they want to see, what you're doing at school too. All right, so that is some of the tools that I might use. The question asked earlier was, would you give students the same list? But I would give them, here is like what you have to put in it, here's what you can put in it, and here's a rubric of how it's going to be graded. So as far as the rubric goes, I'm going to allow you to read this later so you can get an idea of the importance of the rubric to be able to tell the kids what's expected of them. Jennifer, yeah, I definitely say so. And that could be in their learner profile or their About Me section. Here is another visual of what a rubric might look like. And don't forget that we can create rubrics in all of these AI platforms that we have now. Piper, stop. Sorry, my dog. Like Magic School AI has a rubric generator right inside of it. If you haven't heard of Magic School, definitely write that one down and give it a look. And I'm sure ATM will have an AI session in the future. But this is for you to look at later. And then this is a planning guide of things that you would need to get started. How will it be used? What type of portfolio will it be? What templates will the students get to choose from? How will privacy be addressed? So just like anything else, we need to share with our students that, they should never put anything personal out there. What would their artifacts, what kinds of artifacts should they have? What should those look like? And what will your portfolio be addressing? So the next couple, we've already taken a look of this example portfolio. I really liked this one. This is one that I found, I think from Casey Bell. She had a whole blog post about portfolios. And if you click on this, it will take you to this student's physics portfolio. Okay, and then let's see. This is the Wakelet. If you click on this image, it will also take you to the dive in to digital portfolios where you can have access to my Wakelet and gives you the opportunity to take a deeper dive into learning more about portfolios. So tell me, what questions do you have, or what problems? Maybe you've already started using digital portfolios. What problems are you having with it? And I'm relating to my experience just from classes that I've taken actually the whole program, the whole graduate program, we had to have a portfolio. Any questions, thoughts, concerns? And feel free to unmute if you would rather ask a question out loud. Yes, Shelley, they are. Okay, we have a question about saving the work. It just, depending on what platform that they use, it would update automatically. So I'm thinking, if they updated a website, those updates would take place. So there would really be no saving. It would automatically be done. Thank you. Okay, if I had to use it for K-5, I guess I would probably do a couple of different things. For the early elementary students, I would definitely use Seesaw because they can create collections. They can easily share it with just their parents. You actually have a way that you can communicate with families through Seesaw. So if you haven't taken a Seesaw course, definitely look into Seesaw for your early educators, your early scholars. For maybe third, fourth, and fifth grade, I would probably use Wakelet just because it is so easy with just a click to upload resources. And also, it has that Google connection, that integration with Google. Thank you so much. Well, that's all I have, and I will stay on for a few minutes if you want to have more discussion about it. And of course, as always, look for Alabama Technology in Motion as we provide trainings like this all the time. And thank you, Purnell, for the invitation doing ATMS and Friends. It was so much fun.
Yes, I enjoyed it too, Carol. I definitely
Thank you.
appreciate you being on. And thank you all so much for joining us today. And hopefully we'll see you all again in everything that we do throughout the year, whether we're in your district or a statewide PD. Thank you all.
Thank you so much.